Oh, he's not being blackballed. You have a sense of, you have more of a case with saying that I got blackballed in a sense because by one person that knocked the domino down, right? He sent that message around to everybody. So I can say my issue was with one person, right? Russ ain't get waived. He ain't get cut. It was just a free agent. And now you got to go and see, where do he fit into my roster? Where do he fit into our system? Do we need what Russ can give us at this point in time in his career?
Carmelo Anthony talks about Russell Westbrook being blackballed. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
For the first time in his NBA career, Russell Westbrook was not on an NBA roster for training camp. And, he's 506 points away from being the top scoring point guard of all time. Say what you want about Russ. Last year off the bench, he averaged 13, 6, and 5 while being one of the leading 6 men in the league for the Denver Nuggets. And he's not on the roster. He looks like he could still definitely help team.
We just saw him 2-3 months ago.
When you in that mental space, bro, because I know like blackball is a spicy term. You know what I'm saying? Do we feel like that's what's happening here? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's Russ, it's Brody.
These are conversations that I've had with multiple players in the NBA. When I was going through my very similar to a lot of going on with a lot of these players that's happening now, right? I used to sit there and tell them, listen, don't let them do this to you. This is what's going to happen. If they could do it to me, they could do it to you. And he's like, you're in a different situation. You're in a different position at that point in time when I'm telling you, not talking about Russ, but I'm just saying players.
Yep.
And then it happens and you start going through shit, be like, damn, man, Melo was right, man.
Yeah, it can happen to anybody, even Melo, a Hall of Famer, someone that can put the ball into the basket at a very high level, one of the greatest of all time as far as a scorer. But with Russell Westbrook, I think he overplayed his hand. Think about it. He turned down that contract with the Nuggets, that option for $3.5 million. Does he think he's worth more? Maybe so, but with the NBA landscape, you got to be able to read the room. If you knew that ever since leaving the Lakers during that time with LA, people looked at Russ crazy, like Russell Westbrook, the Skip Baylesses, everybody in media, mainstream media, questioning Russell Westbrook. It really started back when KD was on the OKC Thunder. Those last few years, people been throwing dirt on Russell Westbrook's name. So if you notice later on in your career, things are getting a little bit crazy for you, you kind of got to be able to buckle down, be a part of a team. You're not the system. You got to be a part of the system. I think in Russell Westbrook's mind, he feels as though he's still good enough to be a starter, playing at a high level. Maybe so at certain points of the season, but Russell Westbrook got to know that there are going to be some nights where he's going to have some DMPs. He's not playing every single game. Even though he's more talented than a lot of point guards in the league currently, teams feel as though, you know what, if we get you on this team, you're going to have to just fall back, be on the bench. We may call your number. We may not call your number. But is Russell Westbrook being blackballed? I don't want to say he's blackballed, but the perception about Russell Westbrook isn't good.
It's cyclical. You know what I mean? It just happens, and it happens. It's sad to see what he is actually going through. You talking about, we're talking about one of the greatest point guards of all time. I wouldn't say the same position, but I do think he's dealing with a little bit of that. The things that you built your career off of and people fell in love with you about is the same thing it's your downfall right now. It's hindering you right now from being on the team, because now you created such a monster and a monster in a competitive way, right? And you set the bar so high with your energy and what you did, what you do in the game, your triple doubles, leading OKC. Now that energy is a lot different, right? I'm not saying you've never burnt any bridges along the way, but now you're in a position now where narratives start to kick in, right? Conversations around the league. It's a copycat league. So if I hit you, Monica, say, yo, Monica, man, Russ lost his step going left. You gonna talk, he gonna hear it, and now it's just it's going around.
Yeah, I get that point of it. If he wants to say that's a version of being blackballed, a lot of people in the NFL circles may call that collusion, just with certain players not being in the league, owners working together. Are you going to draft them, or are you going to sign this guy? And they all come together. But with Russell Westbrook, it's just all perception. They feel as though we don't want a very good player to pout on the bench to make the team energy go down just because he feels as though he should be playing. Why did you take me out the game, coach? It just looks a certain way with Russell Westbrook. It may not be fair, but by him kind of being standoffish in a way, his demeanor, I think that may rub the ownership the wrong way. That's going to rub team execs the wrong way, GMs, the people in charge of signing Russell Westbrook throughout the league. I just think they feel as though he's more trouble than what he's worth. We're not going to go ahead and sign Russ because we don't want to ruin the team chemistry. But if you got Russell Westbrook on your team, just know you got the best backup point guard in NBA history. Think about the numbers that he did. Think about the triple doubles. I think a team could use Russell Westbrook, but it really depends on which team. But team owners, GMs, they're in the league. They're talking. Do we really want to sign Russell Westbrook? So I get what Melo is saying when it comes to that. Just the chatter in the league, the narratives, they do add up.
So I think that's what Russ is dealing with now. They start questioning, could he still do this? Could he do this? What is his role? Right? Where are we going to play him at? Who are we going to play him with? So when they start questioning all of that, you as a player, you like, man, f this. I'm me. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm Russell Westbrook. How the you ain't, like, what are we talking about here?
Okay, yes. But we have talked very honestly about your last few years in the NBA,
yes.
right? Percentage. Because I'm not saying that the league is right. I personally think you should be on the roster. But what's the percentage of Russ has to take responsibility to adapt?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. Like we all have to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a hard transition to adapt, right? Especially when you're being forced to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference in just that you're allowed to adapt as you go.
Mm-hmm.
You can't adapt. You are forced to adapt into the situation, to a team.
Yeah, that's what Melo was going through after his great years in New York. He didn't want to adapt. That's why he was kind of out the league for a little bit and then eventually went to Portland, got his name back, and then was able to finish out his career in LA. So, yeah, Carmelo went through it. He's the best person to have this conversation with as far as a all-star, superstar player that was once a starter, put up all those points, one of the greatest scorers that we've seen in this era, be reduced to a bench role. So if Russell Westbrook's fighting that off like, I'm a starter or I want to get at least starting minutes from the bench, it ain't going to happen that way. Even though he put up some good numbers with the Clippers and the Nuggets last season, why opt out of that contract if you know the perception about you isn't good? He still got to earn his keeps. If he wants to play another 2 or 3 years in this league, teams may be interested, but unless he wants a reduced role, not playing certain games, Russ may be out the league just due to his ego.
Into a roster, because now any situation that you go to, you're voiceless in a sense, because you're going in as, the conversation, we're gonna bring Russ in. Like we're gonna bring Russ in and, you know what I mean, give us this, give us that. It ain't, we got Russell Westbrook, we got Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we do. It's we think we're gonna bring Russ in.
Mm-hmm.
So now the mindset and the thought process of Russ coming into training camp later is just looked upon totally different. So Russ got to go in there and work extra hard to keep that level of integrity and respect with this group. Sometimes you be out of place. Sometimes you can feel, you start questioning yourself. You start second guessing. It's a feeling that you go through. I'm just saying, I don't want him to go through that. And I'm sure at this moment, any situation that he goes to, it'll be about basketball, but he's gonna be dealing with all of that, all of those emotions to the point.
Yeah, he's definitely going through the emotions, and he is an emotional type player, wears his heart on his sleeve, which is good for him because that's how he carved out a great lane for him. One of the best point guards we've seen in the era that he got drafted in. So Russell Westbrook still has a lot of ball left, but unless he's able to fall back, play within the team, don't question the coaching staff. If you get into the game and they pull you out a quarter later or a few minutes later, that's just where it's at. Take advantage of your moment, play, ball out, do what you can do to help the team win. And that's another thing that messed Russell Westbrook up. All those stats that he put up in OKC, the MVP years, the triple doubles, it didn't result to wins in the playoffs and a championship. I guarantee if Russ won a championship in his heyday, in his prime, he wouldn't be struggling to stay in the league, and he wouldn't have to sign those $4 or $5 million contracts, $3 million contracts. He would be getting paid top dollar similar to LeBron, but He didn't win those championships.
And he's gonna be like, yo, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't want to do this no more. Oh, he's not being blackballed. You have a sense of, you have more of a case with saying that I got blackballed in a sense because by one person that knocked the domino down, right? He sent that message around to everybody. So I can say my issue was with one person, right? Russ ain't get waived. He ain't get cut. It was just a free agent. And now you gotta go and see, where do he fit into my roster? Where do he fit into our system? Do we need what Russ can give us at this point in time in his career?
Good point by Melo. His situation is much more different than Russell Westbrook. He had an opportunity to stay on the team but decided to opt out. I guess in Melo's situation, maybe there was somebody bad-mouthing him and it spread throughout the league, then he couldn't get another contract. So it's completely different. So it's good to see Melo kind of separate the two. Like, yeah, Russ, you still had an opportunity to be on the team, but you chose to opt out just because you were going to have a lesser role. I don't know what type of role Russ wants right now, but it's not going to be the one that he wants, only because the team that you're on may have other plans. Like, we want to build up the young guys. We just fired our coach, Mike Malone. We got a new guy in place that the players are rocking with, and he has his own schemes and the way he wants to run the team. Russ should have went ahead and signed, and then, the trade deadline, see what you can do. Ball out within your new role, and then maybe there can be an opportunity elsewhere. If a point guard goes down, they may be able to trade a player with the great contract Russ has, a very great tradable contract. Russ overplayed his hand. He dropped the ball.
What team needs that, right? The only teams that would say, hey, we'll take Russ is Utah. He left Utah already. He went from the Wizards of Utah to the Lakers, right? So that ain't, you know what I mean? Like those teams, Charlotte, you send him down there to Charlotte, let him just go play his last 1 or 2 years and let Russ ride out. Like, it's just the journey that you have, the corners that you got to turn at this point in your career. It's very unfortunate. And I don't want to say unfair, but it's very unfortunate that you got to go through this. Somebody who, Russ got 18. Unfair. How many years is this for Russ?
I think he's going on his 17th to 18th year. Yeah. Like, but he's in a super unique position though, because like I kind of look at Russell Westbrook like a backup quarterback in the NFL, where it's like the season's just starting, and the moment a good team drops a guard, Russ's phone is going to be the first one that gets picked up.
That's not the point. I agree with you. That's not the point. And what Russ is probably dealing with right now, I'm just telling you what he probably is dealing with right now.
Yeah.
If nobody calls by this time, I'm done. Because this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go through September.
So before you say you're done as a player,
in your mind, you're gonna start thinking that. You're gonna start gearing towards that.
All right, man, if the NBA ain't working, I'm gonna get on Duolingo.
It's not the NBA though. It's not the NBA. I don't want this. It's not the NBA.
Yeah.
It's the teams who talk. It's the assistant GMs and the scouts and the GMs that talk amongst themselves. And once that memo is out there, it would take a bold person to step out of that and say, I'm going to take a chance with bringing Russ over here.
And that's all it is. Once that narrative, once the talks start happening between teams, GMs, like, who's going to get Russ? Do we need him? Yeah, what he's saying is true. Like, okay, you know what? If I ain't signed by this date, I might as well go ahead and retire. And I think Russell Westbrook, if this is 17th, 18th year, he's in the retirement realm. He's in the time where, damn, if no one picks me up before Christmas, it may be over for me this season. I don't think people are going to try to sign Russ in the new year. It's important for him to get on a team before the new year, hopefully sooner than later, if he wants to be able to play this season. So I'm sure the retirement talks are being had in his household, and it may be over for Russell Westbrook. It may be time for him to go ahead and hang it up.
It's going to take somebody who really with Russ over the years to be like, that's in a position to be like, yo, Russ, come on, I'm going to look out for you. I got you.
LeBron
but it's not going to happen now because teams are in training camp, in preseason. You're still trying to figure out your roster. You're still trying to tighten up your roster. You're putting in new systems. You're putting in new sets, new schemes. We ain't going to bring Russ in while we in the middle of that. So, Russ, hold on. Let us get through the first 5-10 games of the season, which leads you to what? The middle of November, end of November. Right. All right, Russ, it's too soon to make that. We still trying to build and see what happens. Let's get to December. at that point in time, you can't do nothing. Teams are in 20 games, 25 games. Nah, Russ, we don't want to bring you in because you might f- the chemistry out. So it's a lose-lose situation in that. If he's not on the team now, he may not be on the team within the next couple months.
Yeah, pretty much his season's over. What Melo is saying, like, okay, let's wait 5 or 10 games. Let's see if we can incorporate this system with the young guys. Things are going a little good. All right, give us another 20 games. And all of a sudden, you're in February, March. You're not being signed to a team. That's the deadline for free agents. So, again, it's over for Russell Westbrook this season if he doesn't get on a roster by November, December at the latest. Who's going to be that person to speak up? Maybe LeBron James. You did make him look bad when he was on the Lakers, only because you kind of pushed him to the side once you were done with them. You were pissed that Russell Westbrook wasn't playing good with the Lakers, playing within the offense. You mortgaged your young future, traded away Caruso, KCP, just for Russell Westbrook and a Kuzma. That hurt the Lakers moving forward. They were never the same after that. So LeBron was pissed off, and you know what happens when LeBron is pissed off? You're not going to be on the team anymore. So Russell Westbrook, best bet, reach out to LeBron, sign with Clutch Sports, and then maybe he'll have an opportunity to play again before it's all over.